Hi there, I'm Eddie Matthews from the Stratford and District Chamber of Commerce, and we're trying to move past everything related to the COVID crisis, and charities have been feeling it quite a bit. But you know what? The United Way has been getting some funds in for their current campaign, and I wanted to talk to Ryan Erb about that. Ryan Erb is the executive director for the Huron Perth United Way, here to talk about the campaign. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Eddie. So good to be on with you again.
Good to talk to you, and I need to ask, how are things going with the United Way campaign?
Well, we've been doing really well, Eddie. I think a lot of the challenge that the world has been experiencing in the last couple of years has focused on what's happening right here in our region. Up until lately, where we've been thinking about overseas again, we've really been concerned about our neighbors, the experiences that they've been facing, right? Whether they're out of work or whether they just are struggling in some way, shape, or form because of isolation, all the things that have been happening through the pandemic. And so what that has meant for us is that more people have been thinking of the United Way and helping us out, and our campaign's actually been growing.
Well, that's good to hear. And we should let people know if they still want to donate, please do. How does the money help, and how many, there are so many different agencies that benefit and that need the help from the United Way.
Yeah, well, we're really focused this year on homelessness as one of the greatest challenges we're facing as a community. Of course, with the rising price of housing, the crisis that we have for, just uh, people who are working in the region can't even afford to live here anymore, let alone persons who are living on low income. And so we've been challenged with that. And, our work throughout the campaign has meant that we've raised a lot more money to help out open some new programs. So we've opened a couple of connection centers. These are places where people can get basic needs, whether it's a shower if they're living outside, because some people are, or laundry services, or even a bit of food. But they're also getting connected to services that'll help them on their journey towards permanent housing. So we've opened a couple of connection centers, which is great. And our bigger project that's longer term is here to help with the housing crisis by building affordable housing. We actually have launched a new organization that's going to build affordable housing in the long run called the Community Renewal Company. So, Eddie, we're helping a lot of organizations. Last year, 37,000 people benefited because of the work of the United Way. And I'm really excited to announce this year that we have exceeded our campaign goal. And actually, we've raised just about $2.25 million, which is more than $270,000 more than last year, which is incredible.
That's amazing. That's so good to hear. Can we also give a shout out, because so many were assisting and raising a ton of money also for the Coldest Night, which was a cold day for that.
Absolutely, yeah. So recently, as part of our campaign, we held 6 coldest night of the years across the region, and in Stratford in particular, blew through the goal, raised over $164,000 in partnership with our friends at ShelterLink. And what a day it was! It was, really again people focusing on the challenge of persons experiencing homelessness in our region, and investing in organizations like ShelterLink, our youth shelter, and others across the region that are making such a huge difference.
Yeah. And the other thing that I want to give a nice kudo to is the amount of employers out there that have been helping out with the living wage, including Joe Gordon. We should give a shout out to her and how she's been helping out. And tell us a bit about the living wage and how employers are stepping up now.
Well, part of the challenge that we're facing in our region really is the growing inequity in income, right? So we now know that about 57% of the households in our region are living on less than a living wage, and that's a big deal. And when that happens, people are at that edge. So employers are stepping up in increasing ways, which is really exciting. We had 13 new living wage employers certified in the last few months, and that's just amazing to see. And they're of all kinds, manufacturing, retail, and everyone just deserves a huge round of applause for taking that step. What we found is that the research says, Eddie, that when employers make that change, typically it actually helps improve their bottom line. That's really interesting, right? So they find out that you have lower turnover costs, lower recruitment costs, those kinds of things, and you've got a steady, productive employee base to work with. So we're really excited about the living wage movement because it helps us to change that level of poverty in our community, right? When we're raising wages, and so it's really an important strategy that we're involved in locally.
Yeah, without a doubt. And there is also a new report that United Way has shared on social media, and it's something that's very timely. And it's something we all know. Canadian home prices have been going through the roof. They've gained 60% since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Household income less than 30% in that same period. This is definitely going to become an election issue.
Yeah, for sure. I know that everyone's talking about it, Eddie, because it is a crisis, right? So cost of housing, I don't know where my children are going to live, right? I mean, these questions are coming up not only for people again who are experiencing a lower income, because I mean, talk about the challenge there. If you're trying to live on Ontario Works or on Ontario Disability Support Programs, I mean, it's impossible to pay for housing. Imagine now that it's almost doubled over the last number of years. It's just so difficult for people to begin to think about that. Rental markets have increased substantially too, right? Which the report indicates as well. And so what we know is that we have a big challenge around housing, and it's going to take a lot of people and a lot of organizations, all levels of government, to try to turn this around.
Yeah. Well, you got a big job ahead of you, but I'm glad, if I can remember from my days with the United Way, there's the Allocation Committee. Is that the next step?
Yeah, so we've actually already made those decisions. So our allocations committee was meeting over the last few months, heading towards the end of the campaign with knowing about how much we've raised, and we're really pleased to announce that we have taken on a number of new organizations to help them out this year. I mentioned the connection centers earlier, but there's really great organizations that are getting some help for the first time, especially through our new initiative grants. So most recently we just announced that we're helping out the Stratford Pride Community Center, which is a really great initiative as well.
Congratulations on the success. That is absolutely fantastic news to hear about. And if people do want to find out more, maybe make a donation or find out more about what the United Way does in this area, what's their website, Ryan?
Yeah, they can head to our website, perthhuron.unitedway.ca, and you can give at any time. We're a year-round fundraising organization. It's just that we're wrapping up this year's campaign, or just have done so, and we're really excited to move forward into the next one.
Awesome. Great news to hear. Thank you, my friend.
All right, take care.
Ryan Erb, Executive Director from the Huron Perth United Way. I'm Eddie Matthews from the Stratford and District Chamber of Commerce.